Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And I am Mysca.
And welcome to Overwatch Central. So we've been in the beta for just over a week now. We've had a good go at all of the different heroes in the game so far. We obviously have our favourites, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We were surprised at how much fun we had with some of these heroes. We had watched a lot of pre-beta footage as we began work on the channel, and we just never expected to be playing these characters as much as we have been recently. So again, in no particular order, here are our top 5 heroes that we've enjoyed far more than we first thought.
Kicking it off, we got Senora. So Senora seemed like a support that couldn't do much on their own. Senora is squishy, yes, but you can still get kills if you pop in and out of cover and manage to place an Orb of Discord on the right target. The Orb of Discord is very strong and you're able to kill heroes on your own, and Orb of Discord plus headshot is a crazy amount of damage, so you're definitely able to manage and you still have a decent kill potential as a Senora. Harmony Orb is great for charging the ult and helps your team. It's very easy to use and very efficient. The normal left and right click attacks feel very tactile and the animations for them are of very high quality. And that's what makes Senora a fun hero to play.
Next up is Symmetra. Originally I had this spot down to be Roadhog. If you look back to our bottom 5 video we did before the beta came out, a lot of these heroes were quite slow and sluggish. But really, I'm more or less maining the hero that was bottom of our top 5 list of heroes people want to play, so I figured Symmetra deserved to be in this list. Even though the gameplay footage of Symmetra isn't ever particularly exciting, we heard firsthand at BlizzCon that Symmetra is the hero that's involved in the most wins so far in the beta of all the other heroes. And when you boil it down, it's really easy to understand why. During a recent patch, of course, D.Va, Mai and Genji were the ones that got the sort of high praise and approval. But if you didn't know, Symmetra also got a couple of buffs on her own. Her shield cooldown went down from a measly 8 or 9 seconds to a sharp 2, meaning you can easily buff everyone before a game starts. Her turrets have also had their cooldown shortened, again from 20 seconds to 10. Sentries can easily deny the enemy team on objective maps, and I'm sure we'll go into more detail over Symmetra in another video in the future of where to put these sentries and basically how to play. Her primary weapon again is fantastic, with a left click that hubs in on nearby enemies that are shooting around such as a Tracer or a Genji, or a right-click blast that bypasses any barriers such as Bastion's and Reinhardt's shields. Lastly, and this really doesn't need any introduction, but her teleporter is the game winner. Here's a little tip for you: if you learn how to play Symmetra and learn how to play her well, you will have an infinitely better time in Overwatch.
Reinhardt also seemed like a tank who would mainly be around for his shield and not much else really. In earlier Overwatch builds, you could gain ultimate charge from having your shield take damage. Removing that feature from the game changed the way Reinhardt has to be played, and has now resulted in me playing him a lot, because I find his playstyle very interesting. His shield is very useful both for pushing and defending, so you don't just have to hang back. You can actually charge in and still tank a lot of damage even if the enemy is close by. You just need to make sure to be angled in the sort of right direction and know where the enemy team are positioned, so you don't take damage from behind and just know where everyone are. And this allows him to be played more aggressively if played right, and this includes all of his abilities. You can use all of them in a more defensive manner, let people come to you, or you can just get right up into people's faces. And the rocket hammer just makes it so much more fun to charge into a pile of people and just swing it left-right. A well-timed charge can be game-changing, and it's hilarious to knock people off the side of the map with it. And the ultimate is very powerful and is perfect if you just charge into a group of enemies on top of a control point and need to sort of disable them all for a couple of seconds and then get your whole team to just charge in at them. It's great.
Junkrat was always one of those characters that to me seemed unnecessarily complex. He was announced fairly late on as well, and people had already made their list of heroes that they wanted to play before the likes of Junkrat and Roadhog came along. But for me personally, Junkrat was probably my biggest surprise in terms of having fun playing the hero. And here's why. To begin with, I wasn't really sure if Junkrat was an offensive or defensive hero. To be fair, he's a mix of the two. You can just sit back from a distance and just hurl grenades in constantly, especially if there's a choke point that the enemy team are trying to push. But the thing for me that makes Junkrat so fun is his use of his traps and his mines. Placing your traps in effective areas can make sure that none of enemy flanking players like a Reaper or a Tracer can come around any corners and try and kill the rest of your team. And one of the best things about Junkrat is definitely his utility when it comes to using his mine. It can be used in several ways. You can use it to jump in and out of fights, as well as just throwing a mine down onto an enemy and quickly pressing the button, using it as a real sharp burst of damage. Not to mention, it's a great feeling that when you use your Riptire and you can get a couple of kills, especially again when the enemy team is sort of all convoluted on a point, that you could just charge in and blow up 3 or 4 of them. He's a really rewarding hero to play.
And finally, Lucio. Lucio seemed like a hero that was put into the game to bring a more modern hero concept into play, using music to buff other heroes and so on. I wasn't sure about this at first and didn't really think much of the ability to wall ride, etc. But wall riding with Lucio is incredibly fun and quite easy after you got into grips with the basics of it. Even though it's not often necessary, it's a fantastic ability. The speed boost is great for pushing and have resulted in several 1-minute games for Ryan and me. It's just such a good feeling when you've been rushed when defending a point, and then when you switch sides and attack, you get to rush through that map even faster. The ultimate is great for pushing or surviving a counter push. Coordinating a Lucio ult with a speed boost and push with your tanks is extremely effective, and that's what makes Lucio so much fun to play.
And there we go, our top 5 heroes that we've enjoyed a hell of a lot more than we initially thought. Thank you very much for watching Overwatch Central. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more Overwatch content. Take care, and we'll see you next time.